Today I'm going to try really, really hard to break this. Really, really hard. Today I've got a terrible job. Worst job in the world. No one would want this job. I've got to take the HolyBro Kopis 2 and fly it around the miniquad track here until I've run out of batteries or until I break it. It's terrible, isn't it? Life is so hard when you're a RC model reviewer. But I'm going to try and do that now. I need to know whether those arms are going to hold up. I may, I've only got foam for the gates, so not a big test, but if they do break I'll be upset. But I don't know if they will. As I said, they may be strong enough. So time to have a go, see what happens. I was wrong, okay? The Kopis 2 is, well, not right. I said it was a brilliant machine. It handles wonderfully. It's got heaps of power. It's, you know, it is just so nice to fly. It's so exciting to fly. In fact, I'm still puffed. I'm still sweating from the thrashing I've just given this on our little mini-quad track. And you can see, if you look, that there are bent propellers. Where are we? That one's bent across here. And there's another one bent over here somewhere. Anyway, so I have really, really wrung this thing out, bounced it off the ground, bounced it off the gates, given it a real thrashing, and look, no broken arms. So I think I was wrong when I voiced a great deal of concern about the strength of those arms, but I was right when I said maybe they're strong enough. They seem to be, and of course this is, you know, all I've done, about 6 battery packs I put through this today, flying way beyond my skill level, which meant lots of crashes, and nothing broke, except the props bent, but nothing broke. So in that regard, I'd have to say, yeah, it appears to be strong enough. And as we know, strong enough's good enough. Any stronger than enough is just carrying extra weight for no purpose. I still stick to my story, however, that full carbon would be stronger and lighter. So yeah, they've used this material, whatever it is, and they have produced something that does the job at a cost which I guess they think is able to be, maybe they're passing it on, I don't know, but it's you know, an affordable way to produce the required strength in the arms. Now I'm sure if you flew this into a concrete wall you would break an arm, but you'd break an arm if it was carbon as well. So in that regards I withdraw my significant concerns over the strength of these arms and say they're strong enough. Now that was my major bugbear, that was my major concern about this quad. And so I'd have to say, you know, it's bloody marvellous. My faith in HolyBro has been restored because this thing is a blast to fly. It is, what can I say? As I say, I'm still puffed up. The adrenaline is still flowing. I started out this morning with really sort of nice, calm hands. My Parkinson's was under great control. By about the 3rd battery, I was getting shaky as hell because I was having so much fun. It wasn't, I don't know if it was Parkinson's or just excitement. You can actually hear it on the audio. The sort of warbling effect on the audio you probably hear here wasn't a bad tune. It was my thumbs shaking. Having so much fun. Anyway, so everything held up, nothing broke. I have to say the battery does get a hammering because if you're going to hit the ground, the battery's going to hit the ground. If you're going to, the batteries for these, I would say don't use anything other than something like the graphenes with the built-in fiberglass plates because there is still no bottom plate on here. I think they should put a bottom plate on. And as you can see, this one has taken a few knocks and dings. It's got a chunk out of it here from the thrashing it got today. Really kind of banged up. So yeah, if you're going to use ordinary lipos with just the plastic, you know, just like this, with the plastic there, then you want to get yourself a bottom plate or you're going to wreck those batteries in double quick time if you crash onto a rough abrasive surface. The other thing I noticed, which was quite lucky, was you can see here these wires. Let me just pull in a bit because otherwise it's not that clear. Ooh, here we go. These wires here, you can see they're a bit displaced. Well, when the prop bent, it actually whacked into those wires. Lucky it didn't cut them. If it had cut them, it could have caused a short and blown up the 4-in-1 ESC. So you probably want to put extra just duct tape or something on here just to make sure that the prop, when it gets bent, if you hit something, isn't going to take out that wiring. On the old one, on the old Kopis, it was really good. The wiring was on the bottom. That was a much better idea. I think they probably should have done the same thing here. It would have just taken that problem away. And also, with the bind and fly, I noticed that the receiver antenna is also very close to that propeller. If this propeller bent down, it could, and the antenna was a little bit out, it could almost take that out. It didn't in this case, so not a big deal. Also, I think this is, I don't know, this is just, I wish they'd provided some other way than this thing, because you've got to loop it around the battery and things. It just feels a bit cumbersome. Maybe it would have been nice if there was perhaps even just an integrated XT60 connector somewhere so you could just plug your battery in instead of having this trailing lead, because I also am a little concerned that hanging out on the edge of the circuit board like this, you know, if the battery comes loose and it pulls on there, it'll probably break across there, which buggers you. Quite impressive 4-in-1 speed controller. So things that perhaps Kopis or HolyBro could look at in the future, but for now, I'm happy as a pig in swill. This thing kicks ass. This really does. It is, man, the older one, the motors, as someone else said in one of the comments, the motors are a bit weak on these things. These are weak motors. These motors got way, way more power, as you probably see in the footage I'm about to show you, which is just a few of the little crashes and the fun I was having as I've recorded my DVR on my goggles. So there you go. Questions, comments in the usual place. I'm always so happy to announce when I've made a mistake or I've got something wrong. And in this case, I got it wrong about the strength of those arms. I should have done all this testing beforehand, but it's spring. The weather's been a bit up and down, so I didn't have the time to do that testing. And based on other quads, like the Wizard, which used really crappy, the glass wasn't nearly as thick, I don't think, as it is on these. Sorry, the carbon skins weren't nearly as thick. Then those arms were weak. These ones, adequate for the job, and what more do you need than adequate? It's perfectly fine. If you were buying one of these, I'd still buy some spare arms, actually, just in case, because, you know, it's with a racing quad, there's always a compromise. You're always looking to shave the last gram off and the thinnest little bit of thing, reduce the last bit of drag, and, you know, that pushes things to the limit. And as I say, if you hit a concrete wall or if you hit a tree, you're probably going to break those arms. But it's a racing quad. You're supposed to, it's not a proximity quad, it's a racing quad, so you're probably not going to get the same stresses whacking into gates, as you'll see in the video coming up now. Okay, let's take a look at this gate that I hammered. Yeah, it's looking a bit second-hand now. I'll have to sort it out. It was leaning a little bit, but nowhere near this much. That took a fair wallop. These were brand new pool noodles, so any cuts and dents are caused by the flights you've seen today. And seem to have a bit of a gouge out of there. Whoa! Yeah, we got some gouges in there, and pretty decent. How do they get a Lowe's? I have no idea. Another really, look at this. Look what it does to the pool noodles. And it's really tipped it over. Actually, I'll have to make a new hole for the leg. But there you go, very second-hand looking pool noodle. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.